So for some reason, they're not actually live streaming. Um, what is he going by these days? Three God. That was his last one. Well, Eligio Bishop, aka Natureboy. For some reason, they not live streaming the whole thing. I'm not sure what the deal is on that. I know I heard Janae testify, and someone she was doing a little crying a little bit, and then her baby daddy got up there. Okay, so y'all, this I'm gonna tell y'all. Some of us know this that this is a trip. This is a whole trip because Janae, the one that got the charges on Eligio to start with, that's the girl who, she was back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. She went from one cult leader to another, and she went back to Eligio's cult several times. Now she wanted to be with the guy that she ended up having a baby with after Eligio got arrested, and Janae pressed charges and he got arrested. Her and Solar ended up getting back together because when she was at the cult, she was with Solar for a short amount of time, and I guess Eligio wanted her because he sleeps with all the women there. And a lot of times he may see the guys talking to a woman online and she's talking about coming to join the cult, and he'll want the woman for himself, so he'll let her come, but he'll just basically use some tactics to make her his, the phony wife thing that they do. It's either he'll basically take her, or he had all kind of tactics. It's a long story, but he wanted to be with Janae, so he got with Janae. Now I think Janae, while she was there, ended up getting back with Solar, but at that time Solar was with the one that he got pregnant. Remember I told y'all she went to the hospital at 9 months. Allegedly, according to them, they went to the hospital to have a baby, and they didn't come back with the baby, and they said the baby didn't make it. Now, I'm saying they allegedly went to the hospital to have a baby because we know them for giving birth right there where they're at. They didn't really believe in going to the doctor. They didn't believe in, prenatal visits or anything like that. And they got rid of a lot of babies over there. It was like a game to them. All this stuff was streamed online. Okay, so he was with the girl that he had the baby with. Her name is Zoka. And Zoka, Solar, and Zoka, Solar, and Janae tried to do the polygamy relationship thing while they were there in the cult, and that didn't work out. I think Janae was, I don't want to say in love with, but she was really fascinated over Solar. But Solar and Zoka, people say they were in love, I guess. That's what you want to call it. And it just didn't work out. So she ended up getting back with Eligio. I think she left again, came back. She was with Eligio. And, they started to get into it. And she was saying that, she wanted to be with Solar, and she didn't want to be with Eligio. But he somehow, I guess, made her be with him. And, they got to arguing about it. They would have these online sessions and things like that. But eventually, Janae wanted to just leave again. So that is when the incident happened, where she says that he first didn't want her to leave. Now, when people try to leave the cult, y'all, let me tell y'all something. This was public. They would stream it. They would yell at them. They would shame them. They would tell the world, look, they want to leave. They want to leave. They don't believe. They're going to, they get ready to turn their back on us. They're going to go back to their Babylon family and their Babylon friends, and they're going to be sinning, and they're going to be dishonoring, whatever. This all that, it's cult stuff, I even have some videos on my page to where, some people wanted to leave and they wouldn't let them leave. And you would see the tactics. Some of the tactics we got to see. Some of them were hidden. And that's including physical tactics. But we did see some physical tactics that they would try. I think one of the videos that I have is where, what was the girl name with the baby with Musa? Joy? She wanted to leave, and big old Tron was physically trying to stop her. It's just so many different incidents. They had times where the girls wanted to leave, and he would have, the other girls chase him down, and they really would try to stop them from leaving. So Janae saying that, she was given a hard time about leaving, trust, she is, likely telling the truth, because it happened for years, time and time again. We've seen it. And then she said that he called her back upstairs and said he wanted to be with her one more time. She said she didn't really want to, but, he's not somebody you can say no to. And that's where we're at in this case. Now, after he got arrested from the charges that she filed, Solar was still around. Solar was still, what was it they used to call it when they get online and, proclaiming the kingdom. Yes, proclaiming the kingdom. And he was still preaching, and, that's his God, that's his Messiah, that's his master, and, the commander-in-chief, and he's the greatest, and, we all stupid, and we in Babylon, and, blah, blah, blah. He did that for a while. Then, he started to show that he wanted to be the chief. He wanted to rule his own cult. And he said Eligio owes him a daughter, because the baby that they were supposed to have when they went to the hospital, allegedly, didn't come to pass. They didn't come back with the baby. And I'm saying it like that because we don't know what happened with that baby. That has yet to be told and probably never will be told. There's a lot of things that happened that I'm sure, even when these people have left and talked all their junk and, said, oh yeah, they try to do some tell-alls or whatever, there's some stuff they not gonna tell. Like, when we get to talking about deaths, they not gonna tell the truth. They never gonna tell the truth about Mama Dia. None of them. All of them that y'all hear talking, ask them about Mama Dia and watch them. Watch them clam up. Watch them say, I don't know. I wasn't involved. I wasn't there. When they were there, they were in the cult, but they'll try to say that they didn't know what happened. Or they'll try to tell you, the public story that was given, which really wasn't much. Because those of us who was watching back then and recording and reporting and hot on their ass, we know. We know. Okay, this was different back then. It ain't like it is now on social media. When we was on somebody's ass, we was on their ass. Okay, in multiple ways. And this dude got arrested a lot. Okay, people used to get on here and work together and wasn't playing. Used to try to get the girls up out of there and, got quite a few of them out of there. Some people didn't make it alive, but got, help get them deported, help do a lot of stuff. But definitely the goal was to shut the cult down and get this guy in jail where he belongs, and he's there. But anywho, Janae testified. I don't want to play her testimony because it's about, what happened, and she was crying and stuff like that. So, being that they, didn't show her, I'm saying her name because everybody know who she is. She's public online, being public online. But as far as the court case goes, they're not going to identify her because that's not what they do. That's a general with victims of that type of nature. So I'm not going to play her testimony. They didn't play much of it. It's very short. They're not actually live streaming a lot of it. They're being very covert, which is kind of odd to me, you know. But we're going to see what's going to happen in this case. So there was a guy who came to testify. I thought this was kind of funny. And this case here, y'all, I don't know. It's some people saying that they don't think it's going to stick. They think Eligio going to get out of it. And, we'll have to see it all play out. But at the same time, why are they not getting him? Listen, y'all. Why are they not getting him on more charges? Okay. And why are they talking about the cult instead of just sticking to the charges? What happened on that day? And of course after, because the revenge stuff was posted after she left. Why aren't they just talking about that? I know his lawyer tried to argue that the cult doesn't have anything to do with these charges and they need to stick to that, subject. And, they denied that. So I think that is kind of odd. From what I'm seeing here, I see that if he gets a conviction of some kind, he's going to have a strong appeal. I'm pretty sure from the people that have come forward to testify, okay, they have plenty of evidence to go ahead and move forward with separate charges, other charges, cult related charges, not only on just him, on other members. But for some reason they aren't doing that, yet they're using cult situations in this, which typically should not be allowed. So I'm wondering under what grounds is the judge, legally saying that this can be allowed, because I can see how it strengthens the likeliness of him doing everything Janae said, because that's the basis of how the cult is ran, right? And if he's saying I did not do that, that's ridiculous. She could have left, she could have said no, and I would have whatever. Then they say no because he is the chief of the cult, or the god of the cult, whatever he was calling himself that week. And that is just, it's unheard of. Cult rules, you never say no to him. Three guy gets what he wants, and if he don't get it, he'll take it. He'll beat you, and everybody will allow it, and they'll assist if necessary, that type of thing. So maybe that is partially, it's the only reason I could think of. However, will the lawyer still be able to find that should be inadmissible? I'm thinking if he has something legally that he can say that cult information is inadmissible, then he would legally file a motion for it, and then the judge will have to rule on it instead of just an objection in court. And so far, that has not been done as far as we know. So we have to see how that plays out. But Solar, aka Sassy Solar, who was, just mentioned, and he was one of the long-standing cult members. And Sassy Solar said Eligio owes him a daughter. Now, he didn't get sassy towards Eligio until Eligio got in jail. Before that, he was very submissive, okay? Very submissive, child. You have no idea, okay? But he got some balls on him when Eligio went to jail, of course. And he began to speak as if, he was the man with the plan. He had some bass in his voice, and, He thought he was cool. He thought he had swag. So he eventually left, and he said, he the big boss in town, and he was trying to get it popping, and he tried and he tried and he tried, but it never worked out. So he eventually went over to Eligio's wife. They were still legally married. She was the only one out of all them wives he kept claiming that he had. Velvet was the only one that he actually married. Solar went and got with her, and them two together thought they was going to start a cult, but they didn't. However, when he went to go get with Velvet, he was already in a public relationship with Janae. Now, Janae, of course, was trying to be with Solar when they were in the cult. And I do believe Solar, at that time, saying something like he wasn't really that into her or something like that. But then there was, some conversations about whether or not that was just what Eligio wanted him to say so that he could take Janae back as his wife. So, I do believe, though, that Janae did want to be with Solar. She was very much into Solar. And she wanted to be with him over Eligio, which is kind of rare over there. But, of course, Janae, if she was going to be with Eligio, she wanted to be the queen or the chiefess, as they called it. And he wasn't going to let that happen to her. I think he was salty with her because she kept going back and forth to other cult leaders and, making them look stupid. Now, one time after Janae left, I think this is something important for you guys to know. After she left that cult one time and went to another cult member, he allowed her to come on his platform and talk about being abused and things by Eligio. And at that time, some of the same things as the charges that she has now. She was, telling that, how bad he was doing her and everything. And they had a little back and forth online about that. And he was saying, oh, you're lying. And she was like, no, he was very abusive. And she was just spilling tea. And it was pretty ugly. And those are some serious accusations. However, after that happened, she went back, I want to say twice after that. Okay. All right. So once Eligio got arrested, Janae and Sassy Solar was together. They were in a relationship. However, Sassy Solar still wanted his revenge against Eligio Bishop, aka Three God, aka Natureboy, aka Chief, aka he had 1,000 names. Okay. So he started chatty pattying with Eligio's wife, Velvet, aka Eliana, aka EJ, aka whatever she going by now. And then he ended up leaving Janae and being with Eliana. Janae was pregnant, though. She was pregnant. She was hurt once again. He ended up having a baby with Eliana. And, I guess they thought they was going to start them a little cult. And that didn't quite fly. So, they broke up. So now Sassy Solar, he got his daughter, right? He went to Eligio's ex-wife and had a daughter with her. And he's gone now. He ain't there being a daddy to that baby. He wanted the daughter that Eligio owed him, so he took it from his ex-wife. She was actually still Eligio's wife at the time. But I have not seen Sassy Solar in a while. I stopped peeking over there. Last I saw, he was still trying to, make people believe that, he the magic man with the magic plan and they should follow him and whatnot. And I don't think that worked out too well for him. But he done cut his hair off and now he's in court and he's testifying. And from the way it sounds to me, It sounds like he didn't really do a good job. But can you imagine? Eligio is sitting in court looking at Solar. Now, Solar was so dedicated to Eligio. Y'all gotta go back and watch some old videos how dedicated he was to Eligio, even after his arrest. But eventually, he left and got the women that Eligio kept taking from. So, and then had a baby with Eligio's wife. So, can you imagine how Natureboy sitting there looking at Solar, trying to testify against him? Like, nigga, all this time I've been arrested. You've been out here. You done had Janae. You done got her pregnant. You done went to my wife. You done got her pregnant. You was being daddy to my daughter. I'm talking about Velvet had the girls calling Solar daddy. And y'all know it is a SEX cult. So, in case you have not been following them throughout the years, they get freaky. Can I say this on Facebook? With the the little ones. And so we saw a lot of that online with Solar and Velvet and Eligio's daughter. Okay. I wonder what the next man gonna be doing with Solar's daughter though. But anywho, Solar's in court. We gonna watch this. But there was a guy who tried to testify as an expert, a cult expert, and then the guy asked him, "What's your education? Like, do you have a degree?" And he was like, "I graduated high school." Listen, man, you can't make this up. You just gotta press play.
In DeKalb County. So DeKalb County prosecutors allege Eligio Bishop was the power-hungry leader of the Carbonnation cult.
What's she did? Eligio? Who told her to say it like that? She ain't watched no videos or nothing. Like, it's Eligio. I don't even think if I saw it and never heard it, I would look at it and think it was Eligio over Eligio. But whatever.
And abused members who broke the group's rules. 11 Live's Latasha Givens live in DeKalb County at the courthouse with what
Everybody
we know.
wearing violet today?
Well, good evening, Faith and Jennifer. Court just wrapped up for the week, and today's testimony focused on two key witnesses. The first is a cult expert, and the second was a former member who testified to the abusive behavior he witnessed firsthand. The bulk of today's testimony focused on how cult leaders gain power and what it's like for the people inside the Carbonnation. The prosecution calling the founder of the Cult Education Institute as its expert witness.
For years, I had known about Mr. Bishop and his activities. This was not a group that was new to me. This was a group that I had learned about years ago.
But the defense questioned his qualifications to be considered as an expert.
Do you have any professional degrees?
I graduated from Phoenix Union High School. Other than that, no.
Any associate degrees from junior college?
No.
Any professional certificates for purposes of psychology?
No.
The rest of the day focused on the testimony from a man who said he was in Carbonation's living quarters
Sassy.
the night the victim was allegedly raped. He says he doesn't know exactly what happened that night, but he testified about the abuse that went on within the group, including seeing the victim punished and slapped for not submitting to the group's rules. The prosecution using his testimony to try to paint a picture of a controlling environment.
Were folks within the group able to say no to Mr. Bishop?
This fool he really think he fly. He got on shades in court. I don't know why. Maybe the judge just assumed they were some sort of prescription. Child, and his dangling earrings.
To leave. Did you ever observe violence be used within the group?
Often. Very often.
What would happen if someone upset or angered Mr. Bishop?
I would say that emotional abuse would begin. This is where people would be isolated.
Starved.
The The prosecution also played a
Humiliated.
video and an audio recording of the defendant allegedly talking about not needing a woman's permission before intimacy. Trial resumes on Monday. We'll keep you updated online and on air. Back to you.
See, they only doing snippets. It's, I don't know, it's just weird.